A missing persons case is now
been confirmed that the scene is connected to a murder investigation.
Video audio that we obtained from a cell phone.
What if I told you that a wealthy couple vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions? John and Elizabeth Calvert disappeared on March 3, 2008, from Harbor Town, South Carolina. Their yacht remained in the harbor, but they were gone. Suspicion fell on Dennis Jerwin, their accountant. He had stolen $2 million and was the last to see them alive. As police closed in, Dennis took his own life, but the Calverts were never found. What really happened? The mysterious disappearance. On the night of March 3, 2008, John and Elizabeth Calvert vanished without a trace from Harbor Town, South Carolina. Their luxurious yacht was still docked, untouched, but the couple was nowhere to be found. The next morning, March 4, Elizabeth was supposed to be at work in Savannah, and John had a meeting with Tony G., their yacht's chief engineer. When neither showed up, friends grew worried. Calls went unanswered. Their phones last pinged at 5:28 p.m. the night before. As panic spread, the police launched an investigation. They searched hospitals, jails, and even their private plane. Nothing. Rumors swirled. Were they kidnapped? Murdered? The last person to see them alive was their accountant, Dennis Jerwin. They had met with him that evening. But what happened next? Why did they vanish after that meeting? The town was left with only fear and endless questions. A peaceful town in shock, Harbor Town, South Carolina, was known for its quiet streets, luxury yachts, and peaceful golf resorts. In 40 years, no one had ever gone missing, until March 3, 2008, when John and Elizabeth Calvert disappeared. The news shook the small community. Friends and neighbors couldn't believe it. The Calverts had lived there for years, managing the local marina like their own child. They weren't the type to leave without warning. By March 4, worry turned into panic. Police searched their yacht, but everything looked normal. No signs of a struggle, no missing belongings. It was as if they had simply vanished. Speculation ran wild. Were they kidnapped for ransom? Murdered? The mystery only deepened as days passed with no leads. The once peaceful town was now gripped by fear, waiting for answers that never came. The initial investigation. By March 4, 2008, police launched a full-scale investigation into John and Elizabeth Calvert's disappearance. Their yacht was searched, but nothing seemed out of place. No blood, no struggle, no clues. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. Detectives retraced their last movements. On March 3, Elizabeth had lunch with LET, a realtor, discussing a house purchase. That evening, the Calverts met with their accountant, Dennis Jerwin, at his office near the Harbor Town Marina. By 5:28 p.m., both of their phones went silent. They never made it to dinner, never returned home. Suspicion quickly fell on Jerwin, the last person to see them. Police checked hospitals, jails, and airports, but found nothing. Their Mercedes was missing, adding to the mystery. What had happened after their meeting? Investigators were hitting dead ends, but one thing was clear: this was no ordinary disappearance. Tracking the last known movements, detectives pieced together the final hours of John and Elizabeth Calvert on March 3, 2008. That afternoon, Elizabeth had lunch with her friend LET, discussing plans to buy a home. Later that evening, the Calverts met with their accountant, Dennis Jerwin, at his office near Harbor Town Marina. At 5:28 p.m., their phones went silent. They never returned home. Dennis Jerwin claimed they left after their meeting to have dinner, but no one saw them again. Police searched for their silver Mercedes, which was later found abandoned at Palm Dunes Hotel, covered with branches. Inside, they found empty coffee cups in the passenger seat, suggesting only one person had been in the car. A deeper search revealed brown stains on the car, possibly blood. The investigation was no longer just a missing persons case. Police feared they were searching for bodies. The accountant's role. As detectives dug deeper, suspicion fell on Dennis Gerwin, the Calvert's accountant. He was the last person to see John and Elizabeth alive on March 3, 2008, during a business meeting at his office near Harbor Town Marina. Police discovered Gerwin had been embezzling $2 million, including funds from the Calvert's marina. Investigators believed the couple confronted him that evening and never left his office alive. Surveillance footage showed Gerwin acting strangely. He was seen at a gas station at 5:40 p.m., earlier than he told police, and later at a pharmacy buying bandages for a cut on his hand. Detectives suspected it was from handling a weapon. When questioned again, Gerwin arrived with a lawyer and refused to cooperate. But with each lie and timeline inconsistency, police were sure he knew exactly what happened to the Calverts. Suspicious behavior and false leads. As police focused on Dennis Gerwin, strange details emerged. On March 3, 2008, just hours before John and Elizabeth Calvert vanished, Gerwin purchased plastic sheeting from a hardware store, raising suspicions of a cover-up. He later told police he cut his hand on a wine bottle, but detectives found no broken glass, no stains, nothing. Security footage showed him at a pharmacy at 7:30 p.m., hours earlier than he claimed, buying bandages and medical gloves, often used by criminals to avoid leaving fingerprints. A bizarre twist came when a woman claimed her lover, Frank Hargraves, was a hitman who had killed the Calverts. But it was a lie, just a disturbing role play between the couple. Meanwhile, Gerwin's phone was off for 12 hours, giving him plenty of time to dispose of evidence. With no bodies, no murder weapon, and only circumstantial evidence, police were closing in. But Gerwin had one last shocking move left. The shocking turn. Just as police prepared to name Dennis Gerwin as the prime suspect in the March 3, 2008, disappearance of John and Elizabeth Calvert, the case took a shocking turn. On March 11, 2008, officers were called to a rental home. Gerwin was dead. He had slit his wrists, arms, and thighs in a bathtub, leaving behind 2 suicide notes. In them, he admitted to embezzling $2 million, including the Calverts' money. But while he confessed to financial crimes, he never revealed what happened to John and Elizabeth. Police searched his home, office, and car, finding a shovel with fresh dirt, but no bodies. His phone had been off for 12 hours the night the Calverts disappeared, giving him time to cover his tracks. The shocking death of their prime suspect left investigators at a dead end. Without a confession or bodies, the mystery remained unsolved. What had Gerwin done with the Calverts? The answers died with him. The unanswered questions. With Dennis Gerwin dead, the biggest mystery remained. Where were John and Elizabeth Calvert? Despite a massive search, no trace of their bodies was ever found. Gerwin's suicide note admitted to stealing $2 million, but it gave no clues about what happened on March 3, 2008. Police believed the Calverts confronted him that night, leading to a deadly altercation. A shovel with fresh dirt in his garage hinted at a burial, but despite searches in Sea Pines, Harbor Town, and even a landfill, no evidence surfaced. Some believed Gerwin had an accomplice, while others thought he planned a perfect crime. Friends, family, and the town of Harbor Town were left with endless questions. Without bodies or a confession, the Calverts' disappearance remains a chilling mystery. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened that night, or where John and Elizabeth Calvert truly are. Final thoughts and theories. The disappearance of John and Elizabeth Calvert on March 3, 2008, remains one of South Carolina's greatest mysteries. Investigators believe Dennis Gerwin, their accountant, killed them to hide his $2 million embezzlement. But without bodies or a confession, it's impossible to prove. Did Jerwin act alone, or did someone help him cover it up? His 12-hour phone blackout suggests he had time to dispose of evidence. The shovel with fresh dirt, his false alibi, and his suicide all point to guilt. But why didn't he reveal the location of their bodies? Some believe the Calverts were buried in sea pines, while others suspect they were dumped at sea. With no solid proof, theories continue to grow. The case remains open, but with Jerwin dead, the truth may never be known. Until their bodies are found, the mystery of John and Elizabeth Calvert will haunt Harbor Town forever.